Hi, this is Sai Sashwati and I'm a legal intern at Lex and Company. Today I'm going to discuss the very famous case that is Solomon versus Solomon Company Limited. It was decided on the basis of a separate legal entity of a company. The fact of this case was Aaron Solomon was a leather tradesman. He was very successful tradesman and he owned a sole proprietorship over his business. In 1892, he decided to change his company to a limited company with his son. So, for any limited company, there should be a requirement of 7 members. These members are the shareholders of the company. So, Solomon made his family the members of the company. He, along with his wife, 4 sons, and a daughter, were the members of the company, where Solomon was himself the managing director. The company subsequently purchased 39,000 euros, from which 10,000 euros were debt to them. At that same time, Solomon was the company's principal and was the principal of shareholders. On the security of his debentures, Mr. Solomon received a sum of 5,000 euros from Mr. Edmund. The shares were divided as such, like 20,001 shares belonged to Solomon, whereas the rest 5 shares belonged to his family members, that is his wife, son and daughter. Each hold 1 shares. There was a decrease on the sale. Subsequently, the business also came to failure. October 1893, Edmund sued Solomon to enforce his security, which Solomon had to pay back 5,000 euros to Edmund. The liquidator also argued that the debentures that were used by Mr. Solomon for the security of the debt was just on fraud. The liquidator sued Solomon since he was the only one who is taking the responsibility over the company. Basically, over here, the issue was whether Solomon was liable for the debt or not. The High Court made a decision against Mr. Solomon. He said Mr. Solomon was the only creditor of the company from the beginning of the sole proprietorship. And even if he changed the company from to a limited company, it's still his company because he has the biggest part of the shares. And other subscribers are just names and they are just the members to form a company. The appellate court held this judgment of the High Court and made Solomon responsible for the act. Whereas when the appeal went to House of Lords, they reversed the judgment. Judge rejects the argument of agency and fraud. The law was clear and concise that to form a limited company there is requirement of 7 members. The law does not mention anything about how much each subscriber should hold the shares. Like it doesn't say that if each one have to just hold 1 share or more than 1 share. Moreover, it applied the principle of separate legal entity, which explained that each company has its own personality, which is separate from its member. So the company can sue or can be sued. In the separate legal entity, the corporate body has its independent existence. The members cannot be held responsible for the acts of the company that does. Any transaction that the company do, it goes in the name of the company and it goes in the books of account. We know that owners are also the shareholders of the company, but they are also the independent members and they cannot be held liable. This was the whole point of this case, that a company has a separate legal existence and they cannot and the members who are just the shareholders cannot be sued for the acts that the company does. Hopefully you understand the concept of separate legal entity through this case. Thank you.